Good morning. The foggy one. Oh, that's starting to burn off though, but kids are on a 2-hour delay from school this morning. So I'm here a little early. We're going to get our electrical done for our pump on our drone trailer, get everything loaded up, and hopefully get started spraying soon. Getting our switch wired up here. Got our 2 hots. Can't see anything, can you? There we go. On both sides. I need another ring terminal to connect the grounds down here. Put all the cover on, and then we just got to connect the other end of the motor, and we're getting there. Well, I've been getting our chemicals and stuff ready to go. So we're going to run glyphosate out of here, kill volunteer wheat. That one is going to be our Palisade tank. So I've got some water in there. I need some more. I need 175 gallons total. I just got the chemical put in, so we need to get the water level up to here. And I think we're going to try out our pump. So it's just fresh, clean water in that tank. We're going to fire up our generator and see if we can't pump it from there into there. Sound like a deal? Let's see if it works and how many leaks we got. Generator's running. I got our valve open there. I got our valve open here. Flip the switch. Going. It's definitely faster than our old pump. Sweet. That's gonna work. It's gonna work really good. Actually, I should pump a little in the drone. We should clean that out while we got fresh water. I put a little in there. We'll run that out before we go. I'm not gonna fire all that up right now. This is good. That pump's fast. We'll get enough to fill our tank. We're on a little bit of an angle, so we're gonna go just above the 175 mark there. 2.5 gallons the acre times 70 acres. That's what we're shooting for. And we need enough for 90 acres in that one. All right, we are all loaded up, ready to go to the field. It's 9 o'clock. Took us a little longer to get going than I was hoping, but we'll be okay. So we got 46 acres just down the road here on the corner that we're going to start with, wheat stubble, and then come back to the field right by the farm, the seed warehouse, spray out our Roundup there, and then go do that Palisade. Flying! Look at that pattern. Oh, that's awesome. All right, first flight of the day. Yeah, look at that swirling. That is cool to watch. It is calm. It's a beautiful, perfect day for this. So we're pushing a 30-foot spread pattern, which may be a little wide, but we're going to find out. Volunteer wheat killing is a good place to test stuff. So we'll see what our pattern looks like when the wheat starts to die. Running 2.5 gallons to the acre, flying as fast as we can fly, and we'll see what happens here. So hopefully we can knock this out relatively quickly. We're going to spray a bunch over here, and then we'll probably relocate on the other side of this house lot here before we finish the field. All right, we are on flight number 2. First thing I'm finding with our new pump system here is it's fast. It's really fast, but it creates a lot of foam. We're gonna have to put defoamer in every tank, I think. So I'll deal with it here for now, but something I learned. We might just shut our agitation off too, because that'll stop stirring it up so bad. Might help a little bit. Dad's taking my boys to school. They had a 2-hour delay for the fog today, and I had him drop me off some defoamers. So throw this in our tank. Hopefully that helps cut that foam. Well, that defoamer worked really good. I'll show you here at some point. One thing I don't like about the DJI T50 here, it does a really good job of planting its roots and being efficient. Problem is, like here where I'm going to move up on the other side of that building site, I want to do all of this over here first. Well, for some reason, it decided to start on the one on the other side. So it was taking off over there. Well, it was going to fly right into the trees or the electric lines. So I manually controlled it, got it up over those, and got over there. It's just like I don't really understand why it wouldn't finish what it's got to do over here yet along this line, and maybe do some of these rows behind the buildings, and then I'll move over there. But whatever. I'm sure there's a way to do that, like some route segmentation or something. But I've never played with that, so I need to look into a little bit more. Either way, we're moving here. It's fine. Okay, we're starting to settle in here. I put on my mic here. Hopefully that cuts the background noise from the generator a little bit. But let's talk about what we're doing. If you haven't been with me since last summer with the drone spraying, you're probably like, what the heck is this thing? And I haven't talked about it a lot. So we are running a DJI T50 spray drone. Last year, it was the latest and greatest. Now, it's an obsolete piece of junk. I'm kidding, kind of. It is obsolete. It does everything that I need to do. I had no reason to upgrade. So it is, like I said, DJI T50. It has a 10.5 gallon tank. And we are right now spraying with a 30-foot swath width and putting 2.5 gallons to the acre, spraying at about 32 feet per second, which I'd have to do the math on miles per hour there. So we can cover just under 4 gallons per tank, and we can cover some ground with this. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but in drone sprayer world, at least a year ago, that was a big drone that did quite a bit. So we are running 2 generators here. We'll talk about our trailer setup here in just a second. So we have the DJI D12000 IE generator. That's charging our drone batteries. That's its only job. Make sure our drone batteries get charged. I'm also running another generator, a smaller one over here. I don't even know what it is. A 5500 watt, 5550 watt generator. Its only job is, well, it has a few jobs, I guess. Number one, it's running our pump. So we've put this electric pump. I've always run a 110 volt electric pump. We've got a bigger, faster one this year than what we ran last year. Last year was just a chemical pump. This one's a centrifugal pump with I think it's a half or a third horsepower motor on it. So we're using that to fill the drone. I also have this motor up here. This is a tote mixer. It's got an impeller in there, and it just agitates everything, keeps everything mixed up really well. It's also charging my phone battery, controller batteries, whatever else that I need. And the reason is I don't want to suck any extra power off of the drone battery charging generator than necessary, so that we can make sure to charge our batteries as fast as possible. I have 3 batteries. I've never had an issue keeping up as long as I remember to switch them. The biggest holdup and hardest thing about this whole drone spraying thing is remembering to switch batteries and keep one charging all the time. So that's that. The reason we are doing this right now is because we have this volunteer wheat. This is wheat stubble. We chiseled it last fall, and this is volunteer wheat growing out here, and it's growing fast. The bigger this gets, the harder it is to manage. We want to be able to plant corn in here. I want to run my field cultivator through this. That wheat's going to get big. It's going to get really hard to get through the field cultivator, get it to flow nice, and get a nice seed bed for our corn planter. So we're going to kill it off now, keep it from getting any bigger, and hopefully it dries out a little bit before we get here. The wheat dries down. You'll also notice the ground is very, very wet. We've had probably, I didn't have to look, we've had several inches of rain in the last 3 or 4 days. There's no way we're getting across this with our big sprayer, and so that's why we're doing it with the drones. All right, we're coming in for a landing. I think I'm going to set you guys up somewhere. You can kind of watch the turn here as I'm working and see how the process goes. All right, so the drone will come in and land itself, but I am actually manually flying it in because I can fly it faster than what it will fly on its own. So we're heading right towards the trailer here. I always try and park it with the battery towards me, and that makes it easy for me to switch batteries and also get to the fill port. So here it comes. Rotate, back it up a little bit, bring it down. Sometimes it comes up on the controller about an obstacle because it senses me standing here. Just have to hit OK and then land it. All right, now we grab our fill hose, turn our switch on, stick that in there and let it start filling. We shut off our battery. As soon as that's off, I'm bringing it over here and putting it in the cooling rack here to let it start cooling down while our other one is still charging. We put our full battery in the drone. We're going to overflow here if I don't hurry, and turn it on, and then we finish filling. That is fast. Now we do have a little foam, but it dissipates fast now that I have the defoamer in there. And we are full. That's about as fast as we can go. Put the lid on, put this back over here, shut our switch off, hit resume, Give it a second. It failed to upload task. It does that. You push the button a few times and then eventually it goes. There it goes, syncing to aircraft. Hold the button. And we're going to take off here. This one's going to start on the other side of the house as well, so we're going to have to manually fly it up there. Uh-oh. Resume. I must have pushed a button I shouldn't have. And take off. Turn, go right overhead, get blown around. And now I'm going to manually fly it, get up over this guy's trees and this house lot, electric lines. Kind of watch on my screen, the camera. Now we're well above stuff. And we'll fly it manually to really close to the starting point where we'll hit the resume button and let it take over from there. Okay, we're close. Bring it down a little. We're trying to maintain a height of about 10 feet over the crop canopy. Obviously there's not much crop canopy here, so 10 feet above ground level. It's been a while since I got really good at this. Last summer when we were spraying corn, I got really good at turns and stuff. And after some practice today, we'll time one and see. Last year, about a minute and 45 seconds was the best I could do, because that's what it took to get my tank filled, get the battery switched. The faster pump this year, I'm hoping to get that down well under a minute 30. Closer to a minute would be great. I don't know if we can do that. That'd be pretty fast. I don't know why, but it never did finish this over here yet. So we've ended up spraying that whole side before we finished the stuff that was close to us. That seems not the right way to do it, but what do I know? We got it done. It's not a big deal. I think we got 3 more tank loads to spray and we'll have this one done. So we're going to move down and see where else. We had those guys coming to pick up some weeds here at 10:30, and it's in about 20 minutes. It's going to work out just about right. I might be just a little late getting there. Finally, it's going over there. See the neighbors over here working on his fence. The wind is blowing slightly to the north. There's really not much breeze at all, but I don't think we'll have to worry about it. And I've got a buffer along the side anyway, where I'm not really getting that close to the edge, so I don't think we'll have any issues. Last flight, doing our perimeter here, and the guys were there waiting for seed, so we're gonna head down to the warehouse. We've got a log jam of people here for seed. All right, let's get it out of here. Back to spraying. All right, we loaded up 3 different trailers with some seed. We got one more person coming, and we're gonna start spraying this field. Now up here, it's not too bad, right? There's not a lot of volunteer wheat. It's worse in the back half there, and so we're just gonna spray until we run out of chemical here. Should get most of it done. I mixed up enough to do all but 4 acres, so we'll see how we do. This one won't take long, and then we're gonna go and spray our Palisade. We might want to run a tank of water through it and rinse everything out, you know, before we're spraying wheat with Roundup. That'd be a good idea. Last tank. We are perimeter in the field here. We're gonna get the whole thing. We're gonna have like 4 gallons left in the sprayer when we're done, so I'm just gonna drive across the waterway over there where we sprayed that first field and spray it out, because we've got to get the Roundup flushed out of this before we spray our Palisade, because that's going on wheat that we do not want to kill, so we got to clean it out real good. But yeah, awesome. This went pretty quick. And our tank is empty. Like that worked out almost perfect, so good deal. Done here. I was going to strap that down, but that strap I grabbed is not long enough, so we'll have to go back to the farm and grab a decent one. Close up the barn here, and we'll get out of here and go spray our Palisade. I'm going to throw some water in the tank to rinse everything out too, so we don't kill any wheat. Okay, we are off on our next field here. So this is wheat. Obviously we don't want to kill our wheat, so we dropped, we flushed everything. I ran some water through it. I made sure to flush our hoses, and we have switched tanks now. We are spraying a product called Palisade. So I'm going to tell you what that's all about here as soon as I make sure everything is working and comfortable. We do have some electric lines we've got to deal with, so we got to make sure we're under those every time before we get in or we take off. So There is 92 acres in this field. This is one that we remapped here a few weeks ago because of these poles. Not farming between the poles and the road anymore. But we're only going to spray about 70 of it. All right, we are on flight number 2. You guys on? Yep, you're on. Okay. So we were spraying a product called Palisade. Palisade Max, to be specific. Palisade is a PGR, or a plant growth regulator, and you spray it on wheat or cereal crops mostly, and what it does is it affects the cell elongation in the stems, and it keeps the plant from getting so tall. So it essentially makes the wheat shorter with a thicker stem on it so that it will stand better. So it's a way to shorten your wheat crop and prevent it from lodging. Now, why would you want to do that? Why would you want it shorter? Well, as wheat can get too tall, especially if it gets excess nitrogen where you double up or for whatever reason, that wheat has a tendency to bend the stems over, especially if we get a windstorm towards the end of June or right before harvest. We don't want that. We have used some before, but we haven't been using it in recent years. So why are we using it this year? Well, because of this field. So this field you've heard me talk about quite a bit. This is one of our muck farms. And it's not all muck. Like right here, some high ground, it's not too bad. But as it drops down into the low ground here, you can actually see some sprayer tracks over there from where Dad drop dressed it the other day. Super black, high organic matter dirt. And when I say high organic matter, I'm talking 40% organic matter in spots. It's extremely high. And so what that does is make the wheat get excess nitrogen because it's mineralizing from the organic matter, which can be unpredictable. Generally, you can get a fairly decent idea for like corn, how much you can expect from organic matter, but wheat's different timing. And so it's a little hard to predict. And it's variable. And so we've never grown wheat on this farm. This is the first time we've ever put wheat here. We're hoping to do a little bit of some surface work, maybe some tile work later this summer. That's why we put it here. And the problem with that is that we're very concerned that the wheat in the muck pockets in the low ground here, farther over there, over that way, down in the low ground, in the bottoms, is going to get too much nitrogen and it's going to go down. I did variable rate our nitrogen when I had Dad spray this earlier in the week. And so we put about 10 gallons per acre less 28 on in the muck pockets to try and again prevent that wheat from going down than anywhere else. This Palisade is another thing that we can do to help strengthen the stalks and keep the wheat standing upright. Now, in non-muck situations, Palisade can also be useful, and I did buy more than just enough for this field. We're going to spray it on some of our best wheat so that we can push the nitrogen. I said earlier that excess nitrogen is what can cause wheat to go down because it grows too much too much stem, too much plant material. The heads get really heavy, which is a good thing, but only if you can harvest them. And so we're going to use some of that Palisade on some of our best wheat that's not on muck ground and attempt to shorten it so we can push the nitrogen limits beyond what we would normally do. We can put an extra 25 pounds of nitrogen on that wheat. See if we can get an extra 15, 20 bushel of wheat on it. Maybe we can raise some 130 bushel wheat with that Palisade and the extra nitrogen. The Palisade by itself isn't going to give us better wheat. The Palisade allows us the ability to push the fertility farther and hopefully increase our yields that way. So timing on this is semi-flexible but fairly critical that we get it in the window. Basically, we want it from the time the stems start to elongate and the wheat starts growing taller up until flag leaf. You can't put it on once the flag leaf's emerging. And so right now is the perfect window. We're probably 2 weeks from flag leaf, 3 weeks maybe. And so we need to get this Palisade on right now, keep it shorter before it gets too tall on us. So that's what we're doing. That's why we're out here. We're going to do this 70 acres because there was no way we're going to spray this with the ground sprayer, even if it does dry up. The rest of it I'm hoping to do with the big sprayer and not have to spray it with the drone. But we're so wet right now that may not be a possibility, and we may end up spraying that with the drone as well, but it's going to be next week sometime. So anyway, coming in to refill.
I'm not sure what happened to my audio for these couple clips here, but I was showing at this point where it hasn't sprayed on the edge of the field there, and I was trying to get it to finish that before it moved down to far end of the field where we've got some narrower passes up there, but it wanted to go that way. So we moved the trailer down towards those shorter rows so we were closer and not taxiing so far. And then in this clip, I'm showing you that I don't think we really need to spray through the water there. Not going to be any wheat growing in that spot anyway, but that's from all the rain we've had the last few days.
There's not much in there. It didn't quite get it all in the drone, or our pump didn't run empty, but I bet we don't have 2 or 3 gallons left. This should be the last flight for the planned acreage. However, this big gray area back here, I just set that out because I knew I didn't have enough to cover the whole field. So whatever's left in the drone after we get done with the last little bit that it's cleaning up here, we'll pump that in there, and then we'll just make a couple of manual passes across there. It'll be an interesting strip to see if we ever see any difference. But yeah, almost done with this. We're pushing 140 acres plus for the day already. All right, we are done. Tank's empty. I'm gonna go put some water in the drone. We're gonna flush everything out. And then I gotta take my kids. We got baseball practice this afternoon. We got a scrimmage for one and a practice for the other, so I want to do that. Oh, well, I am back from baseball. Look, a hat. I don't wear hats very often. Been thinking about it. Should I wear hats every day? I don't know if I can do it, but anyway, I got a little roasty today. My arms are gonna be a little sore. It'll be okay. I'll survive. Anyway, I gotta get this drone trailer unhooked somewhere. I don't think I'm gonna unload it tonight. I got a guy I should take some seed to, but it's 6:30 and he's probably not gonna want to take it tonight. I don't want to really do it tonight, so we're just gonna go ahead and unhook this in the barn and deal with it another time. We're supposed to get a bunch of storms and more rain tomorrow, so it sounds like it could be significant. We'll see. Take what we get. There's nothing we can do about it. So thanks for watching today, guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you back here on Monday. It's going to be a little cooler next week, but dry for at least the first half of the week. So that'll be good. Hopefully we can dry out a little bit. I doubt we'll do any field work next week, but there's always a chance. So, yeah, make sure you're subscribed. We'll see you on Monday.